All right, welcome everybody. Happy Wednesday and happy full moon, right? So my thought for you this week is I don't often jump into the moon energy, but sort of felt a little inspired by it lately. Full moons, tend to have that kind of really heightened experience. And what the moon is for us energetically is that it's kind of the shadow side of things. It's the underside of things. It's the behind side of things. So what you feel heightened during full moon energy is what's been kind of hiding beneath the surface, right? So it's things that you haven't quite realized yet, dreams, aspirations, all of that can be very, very present and seem clearer during the full moon, but it's also all the stuff that you shove down starts to creep up. That's why we say full moon energy, people get crazy, right? Because it's all of that subconscious energy that starts to come forward. It's all of that repressed emotional energy starts to come forward with full moon energy. So just be aware that whatever is feeling like it's bubbling up or it's being pulled forward is that it's doing so with the intention or with the possibility of you understanding the truth of it, right? Understanding what the reality of it is, not just that shadowy possible form, right? So that's the beauty of the full moon, right? Is that it brings forward everything that we have shoved into the corner, everything that we've shoved behind us, or that's still in shadow, is it pulls it into the light for a moment so that you can look at it and say, wow, what is that, right? And that can be a wow, what is that in an exciting way, and it can be a wow, what is that, put it back where it was kind of way. So our yoga practice is that. It's how you take that moment where something that was in shadow, something that was in unmanifest form, something that was subconscious suddenly becomes in your face. And how you take that reality and you use it as an opportunity to really understand something true, right? The deepest things that have been repressed in you, there's truth in there. Even though it's been shoved down and distorted, maybe you're confused, there's truth in it. Right? So this is what practice is that we keep taking our places of ignorance and we start turning it into wisdom. We start turning it into awareness. We start turning it into clarity. And the full moon helps us do that by pulling all of that subconscious stuff to the surface. Right? So I want you to enjoy that experience of however your own personal insanity, your own personal craziness feels during the full moon, whatever bubbles up, whatever is being heightened. Look at it as with those eyes that are looking for clarity. Right? What is the truth behind whatever is bubbling up? What is the truth of whatever has been shoved down into the corners of you? Right? That's the full moon. So comfortable seat, if you're not there already. Let the eyes close. I want you to mentally begin to do alternate nostril breathing. So inhaling, full breath, exhale out through your left nostril. Then inhaling through the left nostril, exhaling out through the right. So we begin with the left. This is the moon energy, left nostril. Breathing in through the right, exhaling through the left. And again, you're doing this mentally, so don't get your hands involved. And inhaling left, exhaling right, and continue like that. The moon is also considered that energy of the mind, the unmanifest. And combined with that, since it's Wednesday, Mercury day, in the yogic tradition, Mercury is actually a son of the moon. Mercury is also your mind, your thoughts, communication. Keep breathing mentally in one nostril, out the other. And I want you to allow whatever is bubbling to the surface to bubble. Do not shove it down. Don't ignore it. Don't look away. Your greatest practice is when you sit with your own irritation, you sit with your own impatience, you sit with your own judgment, you sit with your own whatever is shoved in there. Couple more breaths in and out. And then the next time you exhale again through that left nostril, let your breathing return to its regular flow. Begin to cat-cow your spine, eyes still closed. Hands resting on the knees or the thighs, cat, cow, eyes still closed. And of course, if having the eyes completely closed does not really work for you, you can have them open a sliver, but I want you mostly inside. The moon is very much that energy of desire, whether it is fully realized desire or repressed desire. All the stories of the moon are basically about the moon's desire for partners, desires for love. It gets him into trouble. And yet that romanticism that is part of the moon that says, you know, he just got in trouble for chasing the wrong woman. And you can imagine him turning around and saying, totally worth it. So we have to have that same feeling for our own selves, for our own practice, our own lives, right? We follow desires and sometimes we get caught up and we get stuck and we run into a wall and we get caught and it hurts. And at the same time, we turn around and say, totally worth it, because there's a truth in there. And the truth is worth it. Go ahead, come back to stillness, please. Nice long spine. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Deep breath in, pull through your ribs, pull through the crown of your head. Pull up, pull up, pull up. Good, and then hands come together. Bring the hands straight down that center line to the heart. We'll open sound of Om, deep breath in. And let the eyes float open. Nice, you guys. Release the hands, please. Come forward to hands and knees. And start to, on hands and knees, wag your tail a little bit. So move your hips from side to side. Let your shoulders move from side to side. So you're moving the ribs, you're moving the hips. Wag your tail. There you go. And try to do it almost like opposition. So some of you are moving your body almost as though it's one piece. Try and like turn your right shoulder and your right hip towards each other. So you make that big C shape through your ribs. Then go the other way, looking over the left shoulder. Yeah, that's it. Get into your side body, your side waist. That's it. Good. And then come back to center, please. Stretch your right leg back behind you, nice and long. Good. Lift that leg up parallel to the floor, please. That's it. Extend, extend, extend. Good. And then walk your left fingertips forward so the right leg is up. Walk the left hand forward and then float that arm up as well. Extend. Good. Find the balance, deep breath. And then as you exhale, bring the right knee and the left elbow towards each other underneath you. Round your back, squeeze in, drop your head. Good. And then extend all the way back out. Inhale. Good. And then exhale, squeeze in again. Elbow to knee, squeeze and round. Pull up through your ribs. That's it. Extend back out. Inhale. Good. And then exhale, squeeze in again. Last time, pull in, pull in, pull in. Round your back. Drop your head. Push up through the back of your heart. Good. And then extend back out, please. Release the left hand down to the floor. Right foot crosses over your left thigh. So keep the leg straight, but bring it towards the bottom left-hand corner of your mat, toes tucked under. And then look over your left shoulder. Good. Pull your left hip and thigh back and in. That's it. Don't let that right hip drop lower than the left. Lift it up. Good. And you're looking over the left shoulder, breathing through that whole right side. Good. Nice, you guys. And then bring yourself back to center, please. And come back to hands and knees. Good. Second side, left leg comes up and back. Right arm walks forward, so the left leg is lifted parallel to the floor. Walk the right arm forward, take your balance. Draw that low belly in, draw your low ribs in. Good, and then exhale, round in, elbow to knee, knee to elbow. Round your back, drop your head. Good, inhale, extend all the way out. Nice and long. Good, exhaling, drawing all the way in. Don't drop the ribs when you extend out, you guys. Inhale forward, keep lifting through the thigh. Good, one more time, exhale, squeeze in, elbow to knee, round. Pull your ribs up. Yeah, and then extend back out. Good, right hand touches down to the floor. Left leg crosses over right heel towards that bottom right-hand corner of your mat, toes tucked under. Look over the right shoulder. Keep your left hip lifted in line with your right. It's gonna have a tendency to drop, so pull it up. Good. And then squeeze that left thigh, pull it forward up into the hip socket. Good. And then you're leaning a little bit more, twisting a little bit more to the right. Nice. Breathe through that whole side. Good. And then bring it all the way back to center, please. Take the knees wide, big toes together to touch. Drop your hips back to your heels, child's pose. It should alarm you that I'm starting this easy on you. I don't even know what I'm going to do yet. So many things that might happen. Walk your torso to the right. Belly over the right thigh. That feeling, right? The unmanifest is exactly that. It's that swirling ocean of consciousness. It's that swirling ocean of everythingness, of what could be, might be. One more breath, walk a little further. Good, and then take it back to center, please, and walk over the left thigh. Good. Mixing my stories or my metaphors, but they're all the same stories, really. But in that ocean of consciousness, right, the things that are our greatest blessings, the things that we want the most, that seem like they're the root of our desires, the things we really want, are intermixed with all of the other stuff, the poisons, the dangers, the challenges that lurk in the subconscious. All of it is meant to be intermixed. Walk a little further to the left. So whatever is heightened in you at this time, look at it as an expression of truth that either you have begun to realize or have not yet fully realized. Walk back towards center. That's how our illusions start to become our wisdom. Walk your hands back up, please. Good. Hands and knees, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Good. Bend your knees a lot. Pull your hips back towards your heels. Lift that low, low belly. Good. So it's almost like you're in child's pose, but your knees are hovering above the floor. So drop your hips really, really low. Drop your hips really, really low and pull your thighs forward. Up on your tippy toes. Pull your thighs forward, but pull your hips back. Good. Lower to the floor. Again, you should be hovering an inch or two above the floor. Pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back. Yeah. And then up on tippy toes, pull your hips high to the sky, navel in. And then let your heels soften to the floor. Good. Right foot steps forward between the hands. Nice. Inhale the arms to the sky, high lunge. Good. Bend the elbows out wide, cactus arms. Good. And then twisting to your right, so towards that front thigh. Yep. Twist, twist, twist. Good. Bring the right hand back to your lower spine, please. Yeah, sweep the left arm up to the sky. Good, so press your sacrum back into your hands. So you're actually putting more of your energy into moving backwards into the back body. And then lift that left armpit a little higher, a little wider, a little twisting back bend. So reach through the heart. Good. Nice, nice, nice. And then come back up to center, arms out wide, cactus arms. Good, back to forward. Bow forward, torso parallels the floor. Keep your arms out in cactus arms. Good, lift those inner elbows a little higher so you feel the upper back wake up. Good, and then step up to warrior three, arms still in cactus arms. Left leg comes parallel to the floor. Good. Yeah, bring your hands in line with your elbows. Now bring your throat in line with your arms. Good, now bring your thigh in line with your throat. Oh. Good. Stretch the arms to straight. Reach out in front of you. That's it. And then hands down to the floor, please. Standing split. Kick that left thigh higher. Good. Bend the left knee. Kick your heel in towards your butt. Stack the left hip on top of the right. Scoop your belly. Good. Pull that right hip and thigh back and in. Nice. And then maybe already here, you want to take that right hand to the floor or a block. Take your left hand up to your left hip. Start to open the ribs towards Ardha Chandrasana. Good. Keep pulling that right butt cheek back and in. Yeah, so hand just to the hip because I want you to really focus on rotating the pelvis, rotating that left hip point higher, rotating your ribs higher. Good. And then release that left hand back to the floor, back to standing split. Take the leg to straight. I know, you're like, this is too long to hold. Step back lunge, second pose of the class, right? Stay there forever. Downward facing dog. Down dog. Wherever you went to, come back to down dog. Good. Bend your knees deeply. Cat-cow your upper spine. Yeah. The back body represents the past, represents many of the things that we don't see, that we repress, that we make mistakes about because we've shoved it into that unseen place. Good. Come back to stillness. Take your hips nice and high. Let your heels soften towards the floor. Beautiful. Left foot steps forward between the hands. Lunge. Inhale the arms to the sky. High lunge. Good. Elbows out wide, cactus arms. As the elbows come down, the chest lifts up. So that's an experience, right? Of the elbows are digging down in space so that there's an awareness of your upper back being strong. Bring those elbows slightly forward so that your upper back feeling strong doesn't feel like your neck is going to break. Good. And then twist to your left. Nice. Moving from the core, from the belly. Beautiful. Take your left hand to your lower back, please. Right arm reaches up to the sky. Press your sacrum more into your hand. So you're actually lifting your front hip points a little higher towards vertical, up off of your thigh. Good. And then maybe you twist a little deeper, but you keep that right armpit open, open, open. Good. And then lean back. So you're doing a little twisting back bend, and your back thigh gets stronger, lifts higher because you're leaning back. Good. Bring it back to center. Arms out wide, cactus arms again. Elbows slightly in. Lean forward. Torso parallels the floor, still in cactus arms, so that you keep that lift. Inner elbows up, inner armpits up. Step up, warrior three, arms in cactus arms. Makes you aware, right, of how much you pushed your arms out in front of you. Good. Ribs up, elbows up, wrists up, throat up. Nice, Calliope. Good, Laura. Nice, Kristen. Beautiful. Now stretch the arms to straight and extend further back through that thigh. Good. Release the hands down to the floor, standing split. Use blocks if you need. Beautiful. Left hip and thigh pulls back and in. So rotate that top of your left thigh back. That's it. And then bend that right knee, kick your heel, and stack the right hip on top of the left. As soon as you do that, that left thigh and hip crease is going to fall forward again. Pull it back and around. Don't let that outer hip dictate what you're allowed to do with your life. Right hand, if you'd like, can come to your hip here. So start to move towards Ardha Chandrasana. And just to your hip. Don't even worry about extending it, because I want you to focus on pushing that right hip up into your hand. I want you to feel that you're rotating your rib cage open. Maybe even like there's a wall behind you that you're going to try and find with your spine. Good. And that left hip and butt cheek is still pulling back and in. Nice. And then turn the shoulders back down. Release that right hand. Extend that leg back to straight, standing split. Good. Step all the way back. Nice long lunge. Downward facing dog. I hope you enjoyed your child's pose. Deep breath in, deeper breath out. Good. Nice, you guys. Slide forward to plank pose, please. Upward push-up. Lower down slow, coming through knees first if you need. Good. Stretch the arms reaching back towards the feet. So in the direction of the feet, palms facing down. Move your hands a little wider away from your side body and then come up on your fingertips. So you're up on your fingertips of your hands, but your arms are lifted. Good. Yeah, so arms are straight. They're extended, but you're on your fingertips. There you go. So it's locust preparation, but on your fingertips. Nice. Press through the front of your pelvis, please, so that your hip points are lifting forward and up into the floor. And then extend out through the big toe mounds of the legs, through the inner edges of the legs. And just feel that for a second, that you're pulling forward through the front of the pelvis, but that your legs are reaching long from the inside edge. Good. And now maintain that. Lift the legs up. Still pulling the front of the pelvis forward, float the legs up. Extending through the legs, not bending at the knees. And then fingertips stay on the floor. From the back of your heart, begin to lift head, neck, and chest. Pull your lower rib cage in like it's going to meet the front edge of your pelvis. Good. And then pull through the crown of your head like you're going to reach your upper spine, completely opposite the direction of your lower spine. Nice. And then lift the fingertips up off of the floor, but keep your hands just that wide. So there's no feeling of there being a compression through the chest, no weight. Good. Nice, you guys. Good. Bonus points if you're also petting a dog while you're in locust. Good job, Katrin. And then release back down, please. Nice, you guys. Bring the hands back closer to the ribs. Bend your, so plant the hands like you would for cobra. Sorry, that wasn't clear. So bend the elbows. Maybe stay on fingertips. I think I actually want you to stay on fingertips. So stay on fingertips, but the arms are bent like they would be for cobra. Good. And then bend both knees. Kick your heels in towards your butt. Root your thighs down, and again, feel that feeling of lift, that the front of your pelvic bones are actually lifting forward and up. So that's gonna feel like you're dropping your tail towards the floor, but it's really that you're starting that back bend from the tops of your thighs. So feel that drawing down and forward through the front of the pelvis, and then begin to lift head, neck, and chest up into cobra with the knees bent. So keep drawing the thighs down, lift through the front edge of your pelvis. So don't make that little archy kink at your ribs. Right? Pull those low ribs in, and then feel that squeeze of your lower shoulder blades, not your arms, your shoulder blades. And then lift your chest, lift your throat, squeeze those heels in. Yeah. If your heels are not touching the back of your head, you're not there yet. Good. And then slowly release all the way down. Yeah, nice, Lauren, you got it. Good. Press back up to hands and knees. Do a little circling of your hips. Move the other way with your hips. Nice. We often say the moon is that softer energy, it's the cooler energy, it's the lighter energy. It's the energy of what is not fully manifested. And so it's a little bit less physically in your face, but it is very much your inner reality. Come back to stillness, please. Good. Round your back into that cat position. Good. Round, round, round. So that means you're lifting your hip points up off of your thighs. You're lifting your low ribs. Good. You shrug your shoulders towards your ears. Move them forward. That's it. And then push through the crown of your head. So draw your throat forward a little bit more. That's it. Feel your armpits engage, lower armpits. Keep rounding. Pull your hips up. Pull your low belly up. Tuck your toes. Come into down dog with this feeling of roundness in your back. Yeah, armpits keep pulling forward. Shoulders keep pulling forward. And then lift your throat in line with your arms. Good. Pull those lower armpits towards your hips and extend through the crown of your head like you're going to push the crown of your head to the space between your thumbs. Nice. Good, you guys. Right leg up and back, down dog split. Breathe in. Good. Step that foot forward between the hands. Lunge. Back heel comes flat. Baby toe parallels the back of your mat. Cartwheel the arms up. Warrior two. Good. Right. And the moon, of course, is waxing and waning, right? So there's the feeling of the possibility of things diminishing at the same time that there's the possibility of things rising to fullness. Drop that left arm down the back thigh. Right arm comes up and back. Reverse warrior. Good. And then stay there. Right arm continues to reach, but take the left hand up to hold your right wrist and pull a little longer. Good. And then bring yourself all the way back up. Warrior two. Nice. And then straighten the front thigh, extend forward, reaching for triangle, extend, extend, extend. And then let that right hand touch down just to the inside of that front leg, left arm to the sky. So don't put a lot of weight there. I want you to actually press your hand or your forearm up against your shin. Good. And then draw your low rib cage back and in. Try to round your back again in triangle. Pull your tail towards your back heel. Nice. Then rotate that left rib cage up to the sky. Nice, Lisa. Good. Both Lisas. All Lisas. Good. Bend that right knee again, please. Come back to warrior two. Nice. Drop the left hand down the back thigh. Right arm comes up and back. Reverse warrior. Good. This time, bend the right elbow. Place the right hand behind your heart. And then reach the left hand up to hold the tip of your right elbow. And lengthen that arm. Good. Not just through the arm, but through your whole side body. So drag that right arm bone down into your shoulder socket, but feel your rib cage arch a little more. Beautiful. Nice, Nancy. You could go a little deeper. I know you can. Good. And then bring it all the way back up, you guys. Warrior two. Good. Gaze forward from warrior two. You're going to send your weight forward and come into Ardha Chandrasana. So a little floating into your balance. So step off of that back leg. Reach out through the right side ribs. Right hand touches down to the floor or a block. Left arm to the sky. Left leg ends up paralleling the floor. Good. And maybe here again, take the left hand to your left hip and really focus on, can I push that hip up to the sky? From my inner thigh of that lifted leg, can I push up? Maybe even doing a little pulse there so that you're actually lifting that left heel up, 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 up. Fully flexed foot, so there's power in that leg. Lift, lift, lift. Get that outer hip and thigh awake. Good. And then keep it there. Rotate that left rib cage a little higher, left arm to the sky. Bend your left knee, kick your heel in towards your butt. Reach back for your foot or not. Take the hand behind your head if you don't want to reach for your foot. But open through the whole body like you're doing camel pose on its side. Good. Nice, nice, nice. Extend back out. Good, Linda. And then step back to towards warrior two. Release the hands, downward facing dog. Nicely done, you guys. Breathe your breath. Good. So full moon. It's the power of things being fully exposed, fully awake, fully aware. It's not the process of maybe I'm halfway there, I'm sort of getting there. Full moon is I'm looking it full in the face. It's a powerful place. So while the moon might be a softer energy, when it is full, it lights things up just as much as the sun. Left leg to the sky, down dog split. Good. Step that foot forward between the hands. Back heel comes flat, baby toe parallels back of your mat. Cartwheel the arms up, warrior two. Yeah. Chance to meet your unmanifested self. Don't miss it. Right arm drops down the back thigh, left palm spins up and back, reverse warrior. So if you've ever done moon salutes, it's a lot of side body opening, right? So I'm kind of taking a riff off of that, just working that whole lengthening of the side body. Keep the left arm where it is, take the right hand up, reach for that left wrist, pull a little longer to the back of your mat. And as you pull longer to the back of your mat, let your left thigh descend a little deeper into your lunge. Maybe you have to lift your toes up to feel like your foot is awake, so it's going to keep your knee awake. Good. Come all the way back up, arms wide, warrior two. Straighten your front thigh. Extend forward to triangle, so reach the rib cage forward, forward, forward. Left hand touches down inside that front foot. Maybe it doesn't even touch down, it just pushes up against the inside of the leg. Right arm to the sky. And really work that feeling of trying to round into your back. So pull your low rib cage in, let your shoulders feel like they're falling forward so that you can open that right armpit more. And then draw your throat back. That will take the rest of your chest with it. Good. Really nice, Calliope. Good, Laura. It looks beautiful. Good, Katrin. Nice, all my Lisas and Susans. Good. Bend that left knee. Come back to warrior two. Right hand drops down the back thigh, left palm reaches up and back, reverse warrior. Bend the elbow, place the hand behind your heart. Take the right hand up to hold the tip of that left elbow. And again, you're reaching longer, not just yanking on the arm though. I want you to pull that left arm bone into the shoulder socket. But I want you to lift your ribs higher and longer and let that left thigh descend again, a little deeper into the lunge. Nice. Good, Carolina. Hardly ever say good, Carolina. Forget to look. Come back up, please. Arms wide, warrior two. And then you're coming into that floating Ardha Chandrasana. So don't throw yourself into it. Look where you're going. Don't panic. You're just moving into a pose you've done 1,000 times. So reach that left arm forward like you're coming into triangle. It's exactly the same. You're just lifting that right leg as you bring that left hand down to the floor. It's exactly the same. Don't panic. Good. And then find some strength in that right leg that's lifted. Maybe take your right hand to your hip, push that hip up into your hand with the leg straight. Maybe do a little pulsing where you're lifting inner thigh, push up, 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 up. Good, get awake. unmanifested. Pull forward in yourself what has not yet been fully realized. Good, and then stay steady. Nice. Bend that right knee, kick your heel in. Take that right arm to the sky if you'd like, or even behind your head, or reach for the foot. Take any version of a little bit of a back bend here that you can or that you'd like. But stretch through the thighs, stretch through the front ribs, open the chest. Nice, nice, nice. And then extend all the way back out. Really good, Mark. Good, step all the way back. Release the hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Good, deep breath in, deep breath out. Beautiful, you guys. Slide forward to plank, upward push up. Lower down slow, coming through knees first if you need. Good. Bend your knees, kick your heels in towards your butt. Come up on your fingertips. Good. So those cobra arms, but on fingertips. Root down through the thighs. Feel that drawing forward and up of your hip points. Begin to lift head, neck, and chest. Squeeze your heels in. Don't forget that part. If you're not squeezing your heels in, you're not using your whole leg. So pushing into the tops or the knees, feel the lift of your pelvis. It's great if your pelvis comes up off of the floor here, no problem. But lift up that much. Pull your ribs back and in. Find the heart going high, high, high. Good. And those armpits drawing back, back, back. Really good. Nice, Kristen. And then release down, please. Beautiful, you guys. Press up to hands and knees. Take a child's pose, knees wide, big toes together to touch, hips back to your heels. Good. Deep breath in, deeper breath out. Whatever you struggle with, in that attitude of the moon, if there's a sincere desire to discover truth, if there's a sincere desire to discover fullness, even when you get yourself caught, you find yourself in trouble, you turn around and say, totally worth it. It's worth it to know yourself, to look into your shadows. It is worth it to know what lies beyond what you already think you're sure of. Walk yourself back in, downward facing dog. And it's funny, right? There's multiple different versions of the moon getting, cursed. As being the reason why we have the waxing and the waning cycles of the moon, is the moon gets in trouble over and over again, doing things other gods don't like, and it gets cursed. Step your right foot forward between the hands. Walk to your left, so you come to the inside, to the center of your mat. Turn your legs, or turn your feet, wide-legged forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. Good. Solution is always the same though, right? The moon, when it has nowhere else to go, it's running through the world trying to get away from this curse that is wasting it away, drawing out all of its life energy, all of its power. What does it run to? It runs to Shiva. And Shiva says, come take a break. Sit with me. And it's there that the moon rejuvenates itself. It becomes full again. Regains the power to be full. And what is Shiva? He is the ultimate unmanifested, unrealized reality. Good, you guys. One more breath. Squeeze the legs towards each other. Relax. Bend your elbows. Good. I'm going to walk the hands back in. Please take your hands to your hips. Come all the way up to stand. Heel toe your feet a little bit closer, and then turn both feet out to 45 degrees. Bend your knees, come into a high squat. Again, with this feeling of lifting your hip points, so focus on that. Your knees should be pointing towards second toe of each foot, so don't turn your feet out wider than your knees are willing to go. Good. Sarah, I would even say maybe turn your feet in just a tiny bit more and work at pushing the inner knees a little wider. Good, and then lifting those hip points up. So you're working the rotation of your thighs in your pelvis here, you guys. You can't really argue too much with that. Good. Take your arms up to the sky. Interlace your fingers, point your fingers straight up. And just for a couple of breaths, so, you're okay there, probably. Just for a couple of breaths, you guys, on those Inhale, squeeze the navel in and up in your mind mentally. Sat, exhale, nam. Sat, navel in and up, exhale, nam. Sat, nam. What is Sat Nam? It means truth is my name. Truth is my real identity. Anything else I imagine myself to be, anything else that appears in the mirror, of my mind. I look beyond that. Good. One more. Sat Nam. Release the arms, straighten the legs, turn the toes forward. Forward fold. Release the hands to the floor. Good. Heel toe your feet a little closer towards each other, please. So you're in more of a Uttanasana stance. That's feet underneath the hips. Good. Yeah. And then maybe make sure that you have blocks for underneath your hands if your hands don't easily reach the floor. Good. Yeah. Then bend your knees a little bit, please, towards a chair pose, dropping the hips, but lifting through the low belly, lifting through your hip points. Keep your head dropped. Yep, so not a full chair pose, hands on the floor. Yeah, hips are in chair, but hands on the floor, so you can drop your hips a little lower. Good. And then scoop into your belly, push your hips up to the sky, still in that forward fold, so hands stay on the floor, straighten the legs. Come up on your tippy toes, please. With straight legs, squeeze in and up. Good. Big toe mounds, anchor down. And then release the heels to the floor, bend the knees, drop into that chair pose. Good. And then scooping the belly, straightening the legs, lifting the hips, come up on your tippy toes, rolling through that. Good. And then bend, release the feet again, release the heels, bend your knees, drop your seat. Good. And then from your pelvis again, lifting the hips nice and high, coming up on the tippy toes. Good. And then release the heels, please. Bend the knees again towards chair. This time, inhale the arms up to the sky, full chair pose. Good. Still lifting those hip points up though, so you're still finding that fullness in the lower back. Hands to heart center. Prayer twist, right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Yep, twisting to your left first. Good. Keep those big toe mounds anchored to the floor. Beautiful. Come back to center, please. Don't change the chair. Twist the other way. Left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Good. You guys get full in your lower back. So keep pushing from the front of your body into the back of the body and turn your heart towards your thumbs. Nice, Lauren. Both Laurens. Come back to center, please. Good. Fingertips to the floor. Straighten the legs and down. Beautiful. Heel toe your feet a little wider again. Wider than hips width. Good. You got it. And then bend your knees, please. Drop your thighs parallel to the floor with the knees a little wider. Walk your hands straight ahead. Cat-cow your spine. Keep your butt back. So Lisa S., move your butt back. There you go. Nice. Again, the idea with the hips low here, and you're still moving the pelvis with every breath. You're inhaling, trying to lift that front edge of your pelvis. You're exhaling, trying to curl into that back side of your sacrum. Working the pelvis around the thigh bones. Good. And then come back to stillness, please. Let your legs come to straight. Beautiful. Walk back towards the top of your mat. Right toes turn forward, left heel spins up. Yep. Step your left foot forward just a little bit so that you can come into Parsvottanasana. So both legs are straight, feet are in line with your hips or slightly wider. So that is right foot forward, left leg back. There you go, in case you ended up somewhere strange, which some of you did. Parsvottanasana. Good. Press into your feet. Feel that drawing up and back through the thigh bones. So the thigh bones are pulling up into the hip socket. And then you're releasing through the upper spine. That's the thing, is if when you're forward folding, you're pulling. You're trying to pull yourself somewhere. And all of those places in you that are already tight are going to yank back the other direction and say, I'm trying to keep you safe, stupid. So you have to engage somewhere that maybe has been unseen. And then there can be a release where you're looking for it. So your legs get stronger to let your back release. Your legs get more awake to let your back release. Nice, Katrin, just lift that right low belly up higher, 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 higher. Spin that left hip forward, 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 right hip higher, higher, higher. Keep going. Good, you guys. Last breath. And then bend that right knee, please. Walk your hands forward, step up, standing split. Left leg up. Good. Left hand stays on the floor, right hand comes to your right hip or to your low back, your choice. Same concept though, is that you are pushing up into that low back. Your sacrum is lifting. Good, and then turn your belly to the right, revolved Ardha Chandrasana. So you're letting that left rib cage drop down as the right opens, 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 and then extend out through that left heel. For fun, bend that left knee, kick your heel in towards your butt. And maybe you reach back for the foot or the ankle, but maybe you just keep opening the right armpit with the intention that one day there's going to be so much space through that cross action of your spine that there'll be no problem reaching back for that foot. Open your ribs, open your ribs, open your ribs. More, Lauren S. Open, open, open. There you go. Extend all the way back out. Lovely, you guys. Good. Step back, downward facing dog. Good. Good, Katrin. Nice. Do a little bend to your knees. Drop your hips like it's a child's pose. Ah. And then extend the legs back to straight. I know some of you aren't fooled. You're like, that is not a child's pose. Left foot steps forward between the hands. Right foot steps forward just a little bit. Take both legs to straight, Parsvottanasana. Good. Really good, you guys. Nice, Nancy. Pull that left hip back and in just a little bit more. That's it. You got it. And maybe take your hands a little wider. Just give your shoulders more space to breathe. Good. We're asked, I've been talking a lot lately about paying more attention to your prana. Keep your legs awake, you guys. Big toe mounds anchored down. And paying attention to the way prana moves in the world that we are always reacting to, but maybe we don't notice. When the moon is full, whether you think you're reacting to it or not, you are. The question is, are you reacting to it in a way that is conscious and using the momentum of that fullness? Or are you reacting to it in a way that is unconscious and habitual? And maybe you miss an opportunity to see what's bubbling beneath the surface of yourself, what's bubbling beneath the surface of your world. Start to pay attention. Full moon, what does it feel like? Bend that left knee, walk your hands forward, step up, standing split. This full moon feels a lot like standing split, isn't it? Good. And then again, right hand stays where it is on the floor. Left hand comes to your low back or to your left hip. That left thigh and butt cheek have to pull back and in so it doesn't sway forward. And then you're pushing your sacrum up towards the sky. So get into that low belly as your support here. Push up. And then start to turn the belly more towards the left. Come into the twist. Good, good, good. And then bend that knee, kick your heel in. Even if you don't intend to reach back for the foot, bend the knee, kick your thigh higher. Lift your heart higher. Because that's all it is. The more you lift both of those higher, the hand will naturally find the foot, because where else do they have to go? Good. Open, open, open. Linda, you can do it. Open that shoulder a little higher. That's it. That's it. And then extend back out. Really good, you guys. Nice Calliope. Good. Step all the way back. Downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deeper breath out. Good. Nice, you guys. Drop the knees to the floor, please. A third child's pose, if you can believe it. Bring your knees wide, big toes together to touch. Drop your hips back to your heels. Miracle of the full moon. Because there is that necessity, right? Full moon energy still says that you have to be looking at your internal world. You can't pull yourself so far outward that you lose the essence of what it means to be in that emotional place, that subconscious place, that unmanifested place where the rules of the outside world don't yet apply, right? The unmanifested self is the unconditioned self. It's the self that you really are. So can you start to touch that in you, a place where the outside rules don't apply? One more breath, drop wide. And then walk yourself back up. Come to sit on your butt, legs out in front of you. Good. So legs straight. Nice. Keep the right leg extended. Bring your left knee in towards your chest. And let that knee go wide, bottom of the foot to the inside of the right leg. Good. Janu Shirshasana. Try to find here where you can feel that your left hip is still in line with your right hip, because we almost automatically start to pull it backwards. So try to spin it slightly forward, which means you pull your right butt cheek back a little more. Good. And then arms to the sky. Little twist of your belly to the right towards that right thigh, and then bow forward. Good. Keep that foot awake so the toes are not falling out to the side. Okay. I find interesting as I was brushing up on my stories of the moon, because he's not a guy I follow that frequently. It says that the moon, your devotion to the moon, has the ability to remove all of the challenges, all of the things that have been handed to you by your ancestors. Ancestral karma, generational karma, community karma, right? The things that you were born into, it has the ability to remove. That's what the moon has the chance to do. Because it's that unmanifested energy, those rules of yesterday, those rules of somebody else did this and therefore I must be that, do not apply. And you start to find that where you are free from the responsibility to be something because of what happened yesterday. Walk yourself back up. Good. Bend both knees, please. Bring the bottoms of the feet together. Bring your feet forward a little bit further forward so you have a little bit of a longer Baddha Konasana. Good. And then once you found that, wiggle those sit bones back a little bit more. Find your forward fold. Good. If you are far forward enough and it feels comfortable to do so, you can even thread the arms underneath your knees. So the right arm would come underneath the right knee, the left arm can come underneath the left. If that doesn't feel good, leave the hands where you like them. They can be out on top. Good. You're releasing into the back. So after you have extended back through your sit bones, again, the extension comes from your legs, not so much from pulling from the upper body. It's the butt drawing back that's really going to get into that feeling of my hamstrings are doing something. Then you can relax the upper body. Relax the shoulders. Relax the neck. Good. Waxing and waning as your realization of truth gets brighter and more full. All of the things that were the struggles, the problems, the challenges, the karmas of yesterday, they diminish. Walk yourself back up, unwind. Good. Stretch your left leg out in front of you. Right foot comes to the inside, so you can pull that right knee in maybe a little closer. Bottom of the right foot to the inside of the left leg. Let your right knee go wide. Arms up to the sky. Again, reset your hips so that right hip is probably going to be set back a little further than your left, so send it forward. Good. That's it. And then a little twist to your left, bow over the left leg, please. Those subconscious patterns, those samskaras, things that we were born with, born into, the conditions we were born into that have become part of your identity, whether it is on the surface and in front of your face or below the surface that you react to unconsciously. The moon has the ability to free you from that. To do it, you have to look it full in the face and know that that's not you. One more breath. How many times can you look at your life in front of you and even the good parts of it, look it straight in the face and say, that's not me. It's beautiful or it's horrifying, but that's not me. Walk yourself back up. Good. Bend both knees, bring bottoms of the feet together, come back to Baddha Konasana. Bring your heels a little closer in towards the groins. Maybe you need a block or, blanket would be more traditional under your seat. Good. And then start to find that forward fold again, sending your sit bones back. So as you come forward, I want you to feel like you're pushing your butt back in space. Maybe you even squeeze your knees up just a little bit to make that easier to push back. And then you're leaning forward. So it's the front edge of your pelvis has to lean forward and your tail has to flare back. Good. Once you've got that, then you can come forward any amount and drop into the upper back. Nice. Feel the fullness, feel the wideness of your rib cage. Your shoulders are hunching towards your ears. Find a place where they don't automatically do that. But give up the idea that you're going to get into your hamstrings further by forcing your chest forward. You got to work from your legs. Good. Everything that is behind the scenes becomes heightened. Embrace it. Walk yourself back up. Good. Unwind your legs, please. Very good. Stretch your legs straight out in front of you. Good. Inhale the arms to the sky. Push your butt back. Yep. So again, moving from that pelvis area, pushing your butt back, leaning the front hip points forward, forward, forward. Paschimottanasana, reach forward towards the feet, beyond the feet. Good. So reach, 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 reach from your pelvis as long as you can. Good. Now I want you to dig your heels down, you guys, so that you feel that you are dragging your heels towards your hips. So it's going to feel like your knees are going to pop up off of the floor. Good. And if the knees pop up, that's great because you know you're not locking your knees. Let your hands touch something here, you guys. Good. But drag those heels down and back. Let your knees pop up. And then take your legs straighter by pulling the tops of your thighs back, not pushing out through your heels. Pull the tops of your thighs back. Good. So you keep those heels awake, the knees awake, the thighs awake. Awesome. And then take your right hand to your outer left shin, please. Yep. Left hand comes either back to your hip, find your twist there. Hand can be even back on your mat if that helps you open the ribs a little further. Some of you will take that left arm up alongside your ear or straight up to the sky. Start with that. Find the full twist. And then some of you will really like taking that arm all the way forward, like you're going to reach again for the big toe mound of that left foot. Good. Nice, you guys. And then slowly bring it all the way back up. Arms to the sky. Good. Pull your butt back, thighs back. Dig your heels down. Begin to lean forward from your pelvis. Forward fold, forward fold, forward fold. Good. And then let the hands touch down to touch something. Heels dig down, knees pop up slightly. And then pull the tops of your thighs back and up into your pelvis. I want you to get really used to that feeling, because that's where you can then relax your upper body and it'll do what it does. Good. And then take your left hand to your outer right shin. Right hand again can come back to your hip. It can press to the floor just behind you or alongside you to help open the ribs. It can come straight up to the sky. Find your twist there. And for those who are pretty deep into their twist and their forward fold, you can reach that right arm over the ear. You're still twisting to the left though. You're still turning your belly completely to the side and reaching for that foot. Good. Chest open, you guys. Yeah. And then bring it all the way back to center. Come all the way back up. Okay. Draw your right knee in towards your chest. Left leg stays extended. Good. Hold that foot. So take it into the baby cradle. So your left hand reaches for the baby toe edge of your foot. Rock from side to side. Good. Really move it in the hip socket, you guys. Don't just wiggle it around. Move it. There you go. Some of you just wiggle your baby legs. Good. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, and then bring it nice and wide out towards that right shoulder. Good. You're going to bring that right arm inside the knee. So you're bringing your right knee up over your right shoulder. So your right hand is going to touch down to the floor. Yep. Touch it down to the floor. Right hand plants. Bring your right leg as high up onto that arm, up onto that shoulder as you can. Bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. You got it. Yeah, we're going into a little sundial here. So what this looks like is you're either going to stay right there or you're going to start to straighten that leg and then turn your ribs. Look up underneath your left armpit. What? Yeah, straight leg. So Lisa S., bring your right hand inside your right knee. It's got to come to the floor inside. Yeah, to the floor though. Yep, there you go. And then stretch that leg to straight, look to your left. You got it. Nice, Harriet. Nice, Mark. Nice, nice, nice. And then slowly come on out. Awesome. Stretch that leg straight out in front of you. Give the legs a shape. I know all of you are like, this is the worst pose right now. Bring your left knee in. Good. Try the second side. Reach for that foot with the right hand, baby cradle. Lift it up. Remember, the rules of I can and I can't, whatever the rules are in your mind of what works and what doesn't work, don't necessarily apply. You're moving from the unmanifested to the manifested. So just find the place here where you are working the hips a little bit more awake. You're working the hamstrings a little bit more awake. Good. Move that knee wide to your left. Left hand comes inside, plants down to the floor. And then start to work that left knee high up on the shoulder. Again, if this is all the work you do today, this is great work. Bless you. Because you're really getting into opening the hip, opening the hip, opening the hip. And then start to straighten that leg any amount out to the side. And look underneath your right armpit. Good. Nice, nice, nice. Good, Susan. Awesome, you guys. It's not an easy pose. And then slowly release. Come on out. Really good. All right, scoot forward, please. Come on down to your backs. The overwhelming energy coming off of the screen is enough. Come on down to your backs, please. Right ankle on top of left thigh. Lift your left shin parallel to the floor. Hug your legs in. Good. And don't drop that left heel lower than parallel. Keep it parallel. But do what feels fantastic on your back here. Drag the thigh in. And then once you've dragged the thigh in as far as you can, give a little push back and feel the lowest part of your spine reaching down to the floor. Good. Getting a little bit more towards the edge of your back body, the fullness of your back body. Nice. Release that hold in the thigh. Slide the right leg all the way on top of the left so the knees are stacked. Separate the feet. Reach for your ankles. Gomukhasana. The greatest work that you will do in your practice, in your life, is with that state of you that is before the manifested, before the outside. And release the ankles. Keep the thighs crossed. Just press the shins together like you are in eagle instead of Gomukhasana. Good. Scoot your hips over to the right. Drop your legs to the left. So you're coming into spinal twist with the legs in eagle. Stretch your arms out nice and wide. Good. If the knees don't like twisting in this position or the hips don't like twisting in this position, you can just stack the left knee on top of the right or right knee on top of the left. Good. Powerful work, maybe more powerful to do the work in the unseen places of you, because it's what has the ability to alter the external reality in big, big ways. Use your full moon energy to face whatever there is in your life and in yourself that is bubbling to the surface. Unwind your legs, come back to center. Squeeze the knees in for a moment. Hug. And then left ankle comes on top of right thigh, please. And you're hugging that thigh in first, so pull it in as deep as it wants to go, is willing to go. And then once you've brought the legs in, give that little pushback on the thigh and feel the lowest place in your abdominals drawing in to push the lowest place of your low back down to the floor. So it might still feel like you're trying to take the tops of your thighs off of the front of your belly. And if it does, that's fantastic. Good. Moon, so much involved in its deepest desires, that it's willing to get itself in trouble over and over again and say it's worth it. It's worth it to see the full extent of the truth of yourself. Release the thigh, cross that left leg all the way over top of the right, separate the feet, reach for your ankles or your shins. And I feel like that's the magnet to put on your fridge or the bumper sticker to put on your car that just says it's worth it. So that when you wake up day after day and say, I don't know if I want to put in the work. I don't know if I want to look at what's in front of me, what's inside of me anymore. I'm really tired of looking at it. I don't want to. I'd like to turn away. I'd like to go back to sleep. You have that reminder that it's worth it. Maybe as a little subtext underneath, Sat Nam, don't forget. Truth is your identity. No matter where you go, that is still the reality of what you are. You can either understand it consciously or it can sit there unmanifested unconsciously. It's still there. Release the ankles, press the shins together like you are in eagle pose. Scoot your hips over to the left, drop your legs to the right, arms wide. And again, if the legs don't appreciate twisting in this manner, or the back doesn't appreciate twisting in this manner, right leg stacks on top of left. Sorry, that's your left leg on top of right. Slowly unwind the legs, please. Come back to center, hug the knees in towards your chest, squeeze. Forehead up to meet your knees, hug. Good. And then slowly release, please, extending the legs out in front of you. Arms up alongside the ears like you're doing a supine, laying down Tadasana. Press those heels down. Pull the tops of the thighs up and in. Pull your low ribs down. Good. Get wide through your chest. Press through the crown of the head. Pull the armpits down. Full engagement, everything. Squeeze everything. And then let everything go. Drop the arms alongside you, palms up. Let your feet drop wide. Mind drops wide, heart drops wide. If you'd like to come back to that mental alternate nostril breathing, you're welcome to do so. Guide you into that space that is beyond right and left, sun and moon, light and dark. Very gently bring the awareness back to your breath, letting the body begin to stretch, move, whatever ways serve it well. And as you're ready, draw the knees in towards your chest. Roll to your right side. And take a moment there before you begin to push the floor away. Come back to an upright seated position. And bring the hands together, palm to palm in front of the heart or whatever mudra has been serving you well. You know, it's often said that we get up that way from Shavasana because energetically it is mimicking the way that the sun rises every day. So in yoga, every part of the body corresponds to a direction, north, south, east, west. So in theory, that's you rising as the sun every time you come up from Shavasana. But in the same way that the sun cycles, the moon cycles as well. So there's that process of always going into the dark, right? The diminishing, we go into that subconscious place, the unmanifest place. And then we rise that, we bring that subconscious reality into our consciousness over and over again as a cycle. That's the full moon. So you're not just the rising sun, but you're the rising moon. The ability to take what has been buried deep inside, maybe unrealized, maybe unrecognized, maybe distorted or confused, to take it forward to the forefront of your consciousness, look it straight in the face and know what it is, know what you are. And in doing that, you can free yourself of those conditions that maybe felt like you were born into. I'm stuck with the world this way. I'm stuck with my life this way. I'm stuck with myself this way. All of those conditions, you can look straight at them and find a reality, a truth that is beyond those rules of yesterday. That's what this practice is about, is going into the corners of yourself and realizing what is there is not what you think is there. So practice it, whatever is bubbling up in your life right now that is heightened, inner or outer world that's heightened. Look at it straight in the face. See the rules you've been playing by, and maybe where there's a place where something has been unrecognized that can come to fullness. Don't waste the opportunity. Don't ignore your prana. New motto of yoga, don't ignore your prana. The oldest motto there's ever been. So sit with that you are the rising moon. Whatever is in you is bringing itself to fullness. It's bringing itself to the forefront of your consciousness to be seen. So don't look away. Close to the sound of Om, deep breath in. Sliding the thumbs up to the space between the eyebrows. Namaste, everybody. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your night, a great rest of your week until I see you again. Just a reminder, this weekend, everything is normal. Saturday and Sunday is like they always are. Monday, only one class, 9:30 in the morning with me. Rest of the day, you're off. And then that week starts all of the new class offerings. So that Tuesday going forward, all of the new stuff. Okay.